Hello everybody, my name is Tim and I am an English language teacher. And my specialty is teaching kids from 3 to 6 years old. I've been working with kids for a while already and I have many successful children, but with some of them I've encountered the same problem again and again, and today I want to share it with you. Children are not motivated to learn. I was very surprised at first because we all know that this particular age group, from 3 to 6 years old, is considered the most sensitive to acquiring new information, and all children love learning. Everything new and unknown draws their attention. In the same way that a dry sponge can easily absorb water, children grasp new information. So, what can actually stop children from learning? All the parents that I have worked with love their children and they want them to become as smart as possible. And I don't think that there are many parents who don't want their children to do better in life than themselves. But sometimes, in an attempt to teach as much as possible, we can subtract the most important thing, pleasure. Why do I think that pleasure is initial for learning? There are two things that drive everybody, from children to adults, to achieve their goals. These are willpower and pleasure. An adult who is pursuing his aim can invest a considerable amount of willpower into a job which he might not like a lot. For example, going to the gym 3 times a week. But eventually, if he doesn't get pleasure from it, he will get tired of it and quit. The end. Now, how much willpower does a child have? Not a lot, if any. And as soon as he starts treating something as hard, boring work, he quits. After that, pursuing the child to learn ends up as a fruitless and painful struggle and can result only in willpower suppression. In turn, this can have a very strong effect on the child's confidence and success in the future. So, how can we avoid it? The answer is simple. By treating learning solely as pleasure. Encourage children to love learning the language instead of portraying it as a challenge. And here are a few tips on how to do it. First of all, do not prepare a child beforehand for hard labor. Well, for some of us it may sound silly, yet again and again parents do this. Your teacher is coming today and you should listen to him and do everything he says. Have you heard this before? The child starts preparing for a good siege well beforehand, and when the lesson actually starts, he's ready to resist. Instead, treat the lesson as a game. For example, your teacher will come to play with you. That way, the child won't feel the pressure and will approach the lesson lighthearted. Second, the lesson should be a reward for good behavior. Think about it. What is the number one mistake here? When a child starts showing unwillingness to study, parents might say, the lesson is only X minutes long, and if you behave well, then after it we can go to the films or eat out. What is the trap here? We start treating the lesson as a routine, hard labor you have to go through in order to get the reward. A good film or dinner at a restaurant. To make it even worse, you could punish him. If he won't study, will not go to the movies, then you will stay at home with your grandmother, for example. Will the child want to study? Of course not. He will be too worried not to lose the reward. Will he want to spend time with his grandma if she is a part of that punishment? Instead, if you behave well, you will have the lesson as a reward. This way, the child will be craving the lesson instead of dreading it. And believe me, from my experience, it actually works. A lot of parents who can speak English more or less fluently ask, should they speak English to their kids? The best answer here is, if it works for you and the rapport between the two of you doesn't suffer, go for it. But don't introduce the language relationship suddenly and expect the child to immediately respond in English. If you start speaking only English, especially for a short time period, like the lesson, the child will probably dislike it. And here it's important to go back and not enforce the language. As soon as you start enforcing, expect resistance. Number 4, do not expect children to start speaking the language immediately, please, at the first couple of lessons. It's a rather long process. Learning a language and developing rapport and understanding between the teacher and the pupil is, at the first stages, is far more important. And the last thing, don't make the children repeat everything the teacher says. Better yet, do not enforce repetition at all. Drilling is a strong tool for teaching adults, yet it doesn't work as well with preschoolers. When we use drilling, and this child will get used to repeating thoughtlessly everything you say in a foreign language, and what is the use of repeating if you don't actually understand the meaning? Respect your child and don't treat him as a parrot. Don't forget that all children want to explore and learn new things, and they will love studying as long as it's fun. Have a good day. This was Tim. Goodbye.